So square root of 18 is 2 times 9. Square root of 9 times square root of 2. And I get plus or minus 3 square root of 2. 17, 32. I'm going to use 16 times 2. Square root of 16 times the square root of 2. Square root of 16 is plus or minus 4. Square root of 2. Number 18, 98. I'm going to use 49 times 2. So square root of 49 plus square root of 2. I get plus or minus 7 square root of 2. Number 19. Split this up. Square root of 1 over square root of 3. Square root of 1 is 1 over square root of 3. Do not leave a radical in the denominator, so I'm going to multiply by square root of 3, square root of 3, and I get square root of 3 over 3. Actually, it should be plus or minus. Hey, Bob Seeker would say, turn the page. Okay, number 20. I'm going to add 1 first. So I get x squared over 25 equals 12. Multiply both sides by 25. I don't know. So I get x square root of 3 over 3. X squared equals, wow, this is way too big for me. I get 300. 300 is not a perfect square. But I know 100 is, because it's up here on the top, plus it's on your yellow chart. So when I take the square root of 300, I'm going to split it up by taking the square root of 100 times the square root of 3. And I get x equal plus or minus 10 square root of 3. Number 21. I'm going to divide by 4 first. So I get the quantity x plus or x minus 1 squared equals 25. This one's kind of easy too. Square root. Cancels out the power 2. So I get x minus 1 equals plus or minus 5. See, add 1. So x equals 1 plus or minus 5. And we could actually keep going on this. X equals, let's see, 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. So there's my answer. Number 22. I'm going to square root both sides. You're just checking your answers because you did the homework last night. Okay, 2x minus 5. Well, I'm going to do the bookwork next. Just have a little patience. Jeez. Equals plus or minus 9. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So I get 2x equals 5 plus or minus 9. Then I'm going to divide by 2. And I get x equals, well, 5 plus 9 is 5 plus 9 is 14 divided by 2. And 5 minus 9 is negative 4 divided by 2. So x is going to equal negative 2 comma 7. 23. Let's see, I need to get let me get the same terms on the same side at equal sign. So I'm going to subtract 2x squared from both sides. So I get 3 equals 2x squared minus 5. Then I add 5, add 5. So I get 8 equals 2x squared. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. I get 4 equals x squared. Take the square root. Sides. X is going to equal plus or minus 2. And 24. I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by 2 over 1, or 2. 2 cancel out the 1. 1 times the quantity x minus 4 is x minus 4 squared equals 16. Square root both sides. Get x minus 4 equals plus or minus 4. Can I add 4 to both sides? Yes, sir. Yeah, if you want to take the factoring quiz, you can do it on our work time. Okay, so I have x equals 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 minus 4 is 0. And number 26. Using the following object model, h equals negative 16t squared plus s, where t is measured in seconds and h is measured in feet, to find time required for an object that is dropped from a height of s equals 100 feet and s equals 200 feet. Does an object that's dropped from twice as high take twice as long to reach the ground? Explain your answer. Okay, so my height equals negative 16t squared plus s. And they told us, let's plug in 100 for s. Reach the ground, so the height's going to be 0. So 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 100. In the spirit of solving quadratics by square rooting, I'm going to use the square root process. So minus 100, minus 100. I get negative 100 equals negative 16t squared. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 16. And I get, what's negative 100 divided by negative 16? Geez, you guys are slow. And 6.25. I have to square root both sides. So I'm going to square root 6.25. And I get 2.5 plus or minus 2.5. But I don't really care about the negative because I'm dealing with time. So 2.5 seconds is for 100 feet. Then I get to do this all over again using 200. Isn't that fun? Funner. This is funner. Okay, so 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 200. Subtract 200, I get negative 200 equals negative 16t squared. Divide by negative 16. So 200 divided by negative 16. I get 12.5 equals t squared. Square root both sides. Square root of 12.5. And I get 3.54. Which equals t, and then again, I'm dealing with time, so I'm not going to use the negative, 3.54 seconds. Now, it also says, does an object that is dropped from twice as high take twice as long to reach the ground? Does it take twice as long to reach the ground? No. And explain why. Any ideas? Yeah, it may not. There could be two possibilities. It may not have had enough time, space, height to reach its maximum velocity. Okay, now there's another reason though. It could have had enough height, but it reached terminal velocity and couldn't go any faster. So one of those two things happened. All right. Those of you who did the book work, let's see, it was page 237. Page 237. Page 237. And we were supposed to do 12 through 17, all of them. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, number 12. I'm going to try to do them right on here. I'm going to divide both sides by 5. I get x squared equals, let's see, 5 goes in the 8 once. I get 30, 16. Square both sides. So x equals plus or minus 4. Number 13. X squared minus 4. Actually, you should be able to do this in your head without even writing anything down because you know it's a difference of squares. My base is 2, so it's plus or minus 2. But we'll do it the new way. Add 4 to both sides. So x squared equals 4. Square root both sides. And what does x equal? That's right, kids. It equals plus or minus 2. 14. Going to divide both sides by 2. So I get x squared equals 16. And what does x equal? Plus or minus 4. And 15. Going to divide both sides by 9. So x squared is going to equal 25 ninths. Going to square root both sides. What's the square root of 25? Plus or minus 5. What's the square root of 9? And there's my answer. 16. Let's see, I'm going to add 15 to both sides. So I have 3x squared equals 15. Divide both sides by 3, so I get x squared equals 5. And square root both sides. What does x equal? Plus or minus square root of 5. There's nothing I can do about that. It's simplified. And 17. See, I'm going to add 40 to both sides. So 5x squared equals 40. Divide both sides by 5. I get x squared equals 8. Yeah, but I'm gonna split that 8 up into square root of 4 times square root of 2. So x is going to equal square root of 4 is plus or minus 2, and I have the square root of 2 left over. There you go. Took what, 3 minutes to do our homework? Questions on your homework? Anyone? 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 Bueller?